Welcome to Kelli Keeps You in the Know. Get ready to be engaged, informed, and empowered to walk into your purpose. Welcome, 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 and thank you all so much for tuning in to this edition of Kelli Keeps You in the Know. I am Kelli Prather, the self-proclaimed hostess with the mostest, and my ultimate goal is to keep you encouraged, inspired, empowered to walk in power towards your purpose. So I am hot just off the road from Atlanta, Georgia, where I have to tell you, the mayor of Atlanta. Now, Atlanta has a mayor named Keisha. Keisha Lance Bottoms is doing some amazing things in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. When I tell you that they rolled out the red carpet, East Point, Georgia, everybody, everywhere you went, they were so welcoming, and it was just such a refreshing getaway as compared to some of and a lot of what we are dealing with right here in the tri-state. And so again, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is doing an amazing thing in Atlanta as far as calling for a moratorium for gun violence. Now, you all know that we are in the height of COVID-19, and just like in the lovely city of Cincinnati, there has been an uptake in shootings in major cities like Atlanta. Sadly, there were, I believe, 100 some victims of gun violence. There was 100 plus people who suffered from gun violence this weekend, and sadly 4 children under the age of 10 were shot. And so it was so disheartening to watch the friends and family members of the individuals who succumbed to the gun violence just speak out. And again, I commend Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms for taking a stance and say, hey, Black lives do matter. Black lives definitely matter, but until we prove that we love ourselves enough to stop shooting ourselves, harming ourselves, then the world really won't get it as much as it needs to be. The message needs to resonate throughout just not only the nation or the major cities, but the entire nation. So again, I am one, like I said, I'm one to talk about the injustices. Now, police brutality has been an ongoing battle since the inception of this country. However, if we're going to talk about what other people are doing to us, we have to talk about what we're doing to ourselves. The senseless acts of violence need to stop. Did you get that? The senseless acts of violence need to stop. We don't need to lose one more family member. It was disheartening to see that someone just opened fire in a fireworks, during a fireworks show in Atlanta, Georgia. 100 plus people were shot, including 4 babies. And so we're calling for a moratorium on the gun violence in the urban core, in the Black and brown communities. We have to show that we really care about ourselves if we want other people to be able to say, hey, a change is coming. They're working on improving their relationships amongst each other. So we definitely will support them in making sure that they get treated fairly across the board with law enforcement and other entities. And so again, we're calling for a moratorium on the I'm not going to say black on black crime, because if we're not saying white on white crime, we should not be saying black on black crime. I'm just calling for a moratorium on the senseless acts of violence. As a matter of fact, I am also a part of Moms Demand Action. And so now, although I am an independent Democrat, yes, I am an independent Democrat, we know that if we want to get anything done, we have to be willing to work across the board. And so a group of concerned citizens and members of the Moms Demand Action Group were working to set up a meeting with Bill Seitz, Representative Bill Seitz, who is over the 31st District, which is where I hail from in Price Hill. And so we're working on getting a meeting with Representative Bill Seitz to talk about some of the issues with gun violence, although I'm pretty sure that he is supported by the NRA, as most Republicans are, and he is a supporter of the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, which, hey, I'm also a supporter of the Second Amendment. However, I am not a proponent, I'm not a supporter of gun violence, and we definitely need to address this. So again, a group of concerned citizens and individuals who are part of the Moms Demand Action. Although I am not a mother, I'm an aunt, an amazing aunt, if I must say so myself. We are looking to meet with our representatives, our local officials, to say something needs to be done now. So I'm really, really excited about the potential of meeting with Representative. I know that State Senator Cecil Thomas always has an open door policy. He has an open door policy, and he's always welcome to hear the conversation. And what gives me solace as far as supporting State Senator Cecil Thomas is the fact that he's a retired police officer, and so he's so engaged with the community on different fronts in terms of making sure that the community remains safe, and then also making sure that individuals who bear arms illegally, that they are held accountable. So again, we're looking forward to meeting with Representative Bill Sykes and seeing what he can do on the west side of Cincinnati. I am also in agreement, now in full agreement. As a healthcare provider, I have to say that considering, like Dr. Fauci said, the nation could potentially get 100,000 new cases of the coronavirus. We could potentially see 100,000 new cases of the coronavirus every day, and the cases continue to rise. I have to give a special shout out to the Bobby Stern Health Center that administers the coronavirus test, the COVID-19 testing, if you are a patient of the Cincinnati Health Department. So the Bobby Stern Health Center, where a lot of individuals from the West End are probably patients, you can go there and you can get tested for the coronavirus. And so as an advocate for good health, health is truly the new wealth. As an advocate for good health, I am encouraging you to go get tested. Now, I was tested last Wednesday again. This is my third test, but I was a little symptomatic. I felt a little achy. I had a temperature, and so I went just because I knew that I would be traveling with my family this weekend, and I didn't want to expose anyone to anything. I did mask up the entire way, but again, to God be the glory. That is not my story. I am coronavirus negative, okay? I don't have the coronavirus, but I want everyone to make sure that you're getting tested because the cases are rising. The one thing I can appreciate about the state of Tennessee is that if you go anywhere in the state of Tennessee without a mask, you will be fined. And so I'm excited to see that Cincinnati, the city of Cincinnati, has followed suit. So effective July 9th, if you go inside of any building, you have to have a mask. Otherwise, I think you get between a $25 and $50 fine, which is fair, because again, you want to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. There's so many people who are being diagnosed with the coronavirus and they're asymptomatic, and so you just want to make sure that you are safe. Do what you can do to make sure that you keep yourself safe and everybody who you love safe. Get tested for the coronavirus. A lot of people are saying that it's a hoax. It's definitely not a hoax. I personally can say that I've had family members and friends who have died because of the coronavirus. And if you are on social media, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you see daily that so many people continue to contract the virus. It's serious. You want to make sure that you get tested, just for not only for the sake of your life, but for the sake of others. Now, there's also a little bit of confusion. Some people are saying that if you're asymptomatic, they will not give you a test. However, I've never gone to any testing site. Now, mind you, I've had 3 tests. One test, it was just an anonymous test just to see if I had the symptoms when I worked in a local nursing home where there were probably more cases than any other nursing home in the nation. So I had an anonymous test, and then I had 2 tests, one at Mercy, one for the Cincinnati Health Department. I was never turned away. And so again, you want to be careful with the messaging or who you're listening to as it relates to the coronavirus, because I think that if you go and with the right heart, with the right intention, say, hey, I want to make sure that I'm safe and people in my environment are safe, I want to be tested, they will test you. So again, the Cincinnati Health Department, they're offering free tests. And Mercy Health, they are also offering free tests. Now, last week, I did go to the Mercy Health site, and because of the holiday, they changed their hours. They were there from 8:30 until 1 p.m. This week, it may be different. They may be back to their normal schedule, 8:30 to 6 p.m., but regardless, it's fast. You're not it's a drive-through site. You're not going to be in touch with anyone else there who is being tested. The clinicians come up, they're gowned, they're masked, they have all the PPE, the personal protective equipment. They have gloves, they have masks, they have gowns. You are able to administer the test yourself as far as the swab if you want to. Otherwise, they will give you the nasal swab or they'll give you the throat swab, and you can be tested and you'll get your results in a couple days. Same thing with the Cincinnati Health Department. Again, this is a matter of life and death. Please be tested for the coronavirus, and effective Thursday, July 9th, please get you a mask, because I don't want anyone to be fined. We all know that we're living in tumultuous times, not only tumultuous times as far as economics, we're also living in tumultuous times as far as our health. And you want to make sure that you're safe and other people are safe as well. So I know that Walmart, I did see masks at Walmart. They have a box of masks for like $17 for 30 masks. So that's easy. You can go to some places and they will give you a mask, or you can make a mask. There's illustrations on Facebook or demonstrations on Facebook where you can make a mask, but at the end of the day, it's just about being safe. Now, I want to talk a little bit about economics. One thing I did mention is that we are in tumultuous times as far as our economic status, our financial livelihood. I have to give a shout out to this current administration for the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, I know that there's so many negative things that we can talk about, but the one thing is that our government is currently offering a way so that we can stay afloat. The government in the tri-state area, there has been a release of $5.8 billion to help small businesses. So all you have to do, if you are a small business owner, just go to SBA.gov, SBA.gov, that's the Small Business Administration. Put in your information. The only thing that is going to be required is that you filed taxes last year for your small business and you can show paycheck. So it's the Paycheck Protection Program so that people can remain employed during these tumultuous times. You know, sadly, we thought that after this first wave of the coronavirus that life will go back to normal. I know that the Cincinnati Public School system had set an alternate schedule where students would go 2 or 3 days a week, and then they would do online learning from there. However, I'm hearing that schools may need to be closed because this is just the start of the worst of the second wave. And so prayerfully, again, that's why I'm harping on these masks. That's why I'm harping on making sure that you wash your hands for at least 30 seconds because it's getting really, really bad, and I want everyone to stay safe. So I want to talk a little more about that after the break, but I also want to talk about some things that are going on in local politics and some as far as the development and how we need to make sure that we stay safe. We need to make sure that individuals who need public housing remain safe in public housing, and what you can do to make sure that you have a stake in the game if you have property in certain areas. So we'll be right back after the break. Thank you so much for listening to Kelly Keeps You in the Know right here on 1320 AM WCVG The Voice. We'll be back.
Attention consumers. Are you in need of quality healthcare services that not only meet but exceeds your expectations? Well, try Enhanced Healthcare Solutions. At Enhanced Healthcare Solutions, we pride ourselves on providing quality, culturally competent care that, again, meets your needs. Enhanced Healthcare Solutions will provide services in the comfort of your own home, where you can relax and be in charge of your care. Whether you're recovering from surgery, injury, or just in need of in-home assistance, we at Enhanced Healthcare Solutions will accommodate all of your needs with quality care and an excellent staff of professional service providers. Some of the services we provide include nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and skilled home health services. Enhanced Healthcare Solutions knows firsthand the importance of home care. We promise that our clients will be satisfied with the quality of care that is provided and exceeds the expectations of the healthcare industry. At Enhanced Healthcare Solutions, we take pride in serving our clients in the greater Cincinnati area and surrounding counties. When you make your selection for home health services, let Enhanced Healthcare Solutions be your first and only choice for the quality of care that you not only need but deserve in the comfort of your home. Enhanced Healthcare Solutions is where quality meets care with dedication and commitment. Give Enhanced Healthcare Solutions a call today. Sincere Incorporated Home Healthcare Provider Management Services is a proud sponsor of Kelli Keeps You in the Know. If you want to become an independent provider or home healthcare agency provider, let us help you be the boss. Give us a call today at area code 513-968-0997. That's area code 513-968-0997, or visit our website, F as in Frank, ACP as in Paul, R.com/provider MGMT-SVCS, or email sullivanandsullivansba@gmail.com. That's sullivanandsullivansba@gmail.com. Let Sincere Incorporated Home Healthcare Provider Management Services help you be the boss.
Welcome back to Kelli Keeps You in the Know. I am so excited to just be back in the studio. As you all know, for those of you who have been listening to my broadcast over the past year and a half or so, for a while, especially as I was going through cancer treatments, I was broadcasting remotely, but it feels good to be back in the studio, and I would love to have you as a guest on my show. So again, if you are listening and you'd like to be a guest on my show, you can either come into the studio, join me here in the studio, or you can dial in. And so just inbox me on Facebook. I am Kelli with an I, Prather, Prather. Call and inbox me, and I will get you on as soon as possible. So I'll give you the dial-in numbers. You can call in. You can share your products. I want to continue to provide this platform for minority business owners, small business owners. As you all know, before the break, I spoke about the fact that the Small Business Administration is offering the Paycheck Protection Program loans to help small businesses stay afloat. And so God has purposed for me to be in this space so that I can be a liaison between the community who don't have a platform and the major corporations and not only the Chamber of Commerce, but also not only African American Chamber of Commerce, but also the Regional Chamber of Commerce, to say, hey, this is a platform where you can learn about small businesses and you can help small businesses grow by supporting those businesses. So again, shout out to the Small Business Administration for the Paycheck Protection Program. The one thing I have to say, and a lot of people are saying they don't want to give credit where credit is due. I believe in giving credit where credit is due, because this is an initiative that has been brought forth by the Republican administration. People don't want to give credit. But I have to say that I've applied for grants through the county, and Hamilton County is run by Democrats, and I was turned down. I've applied for grants through the city and never got offered the incentives that I needed to keep my business afloat. And so the federal administration is offering this, and so you should take advantage of it. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, and you want to know how to go about doing it, I'm open. Just inbox me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram or Twitter, or you can email me, Kelli with an I, Kelli Prather 1@gmail.com, and I will walk you through it. Or we can do a small business seminar where I help you get the resources that you will need to stay afloat. And so I see some amazing people are listening on Facebook, and so I see someone who I am extremely proud of, and I would like to have her on the show soon. It's author Christine Gibson. She is an amazing doctor. Christine, she's a doctor, she's an author, and I think that she needs to share with the world her book, especially as it relates to young African American children. And so today, what I failed to mention is that today we are doing the Buy Black campaign. The Buy Black campaign is we want to support Black-owned businesses, because, again, small businesses, especially Black-owned businesses, do not get the resources that we need to stay afloat. Today, we are supporting Cream and Sugar, which is a coffee shop. So for the next 2 weeks, and this is an initiative that was brought forth by Donnie Young and the Men in Suits and the Women in Heels. There is a Buy Black campaign. So for the next 52 weeks, they're going to be supporting 26 small businesses locally. Cream and Sugar, that's owned by the amazing Taryn Kennebrew and Crystal. They are amazing public stewards. They have their individual businesses, and then they're working collaboratively to start a business. They work collaboratively to start a business that's going to be a hub for the community. So you want to support Cream and Sugar, that is located in Evanston on Montgomery Road, and also the other small businesses that will be supported by the men in suits. And so I also see Randall Wyatt. I want to give a very special shout out to Randall Wyatt, who is an amazing public steward. He's a bail bondsman, and he also works with some of the local boxers. So you want to support Randall Wyatt. He is a minority-owned, a black-owned business, and he has worked closely with people who have had run-ins with the criminal justice system. So Randall Wyatt is here. I have to give him a very special shout out and tell him thank you so much for all that he's doing. He is the godson of the former amazing Leroy Jones, who so many people worked with over the years. And so we want to make sure that we are patronizing businesses. I know this week again is Cream and Sugar. Next week it's going to be Davis Cookie Company, which Christina is an amazing public steward. She's a spirit-filled woman, so I would love to have her on to talk about how she got involved in ways that she's going to give back. So the companies that are being supported are also, they have GoFundMe pages, but they're also committed to giving back to the community, which is what this is all about. It's about supporting them so that we can build and grow a new Wall Street, or a new Black Wall Street, or a community where African Americans can thrive and grow. And so with that being said, let me just say this. Now, there's still a lot going on where this development is concerned. You look in communities like the West End. The West End continues to be over-criminalized, and sadly, in the heart of the West End, you have major projects. You have projects that are historically, they have been the Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority projects, but there's information floating through the rumor mill saying that CMHA will eventually sell out and become a rental assistance demonstration, a part of the RAD group, rental assistance demonstration. But the one thing I want to say is that there are so many conditions, deplorable conditions, in these housing projects. I recently spoke to a young man who, there was literally in, I guess, the Laurel, it's no longer Laurel Homes, but it's the Laurel Place Apartments or something like that. A metal strip literally fell off of a building. Flew off of a building. The Cincinnati Fire Department heard it. There was also sheriffs in the neighborhood, because again, this is a neighborhood that's being over-criminalized. A metal rod literally flew off of this building on Father's Day, hit this young man in the head. Yes, the sheriff thought that it was a gunshot, and so what the sheriff did is they rolled around the building, went around the building, and then they came back to make sure that the individual who hollered, now this young man got hit in the head with a metal rod, he hollered, and so the fire department also heard it, and so he had a knot on his head. But I said that to say this: in these areas where there's a lot of development, a lot of gentrification, these landlords are literally acting as slumlords. They're becoming slumlords. They're allowing the properties to be so run down and so deconditioned to the point where the tenants are being harmed. And so that is a symptom of gentrification. With this particular young man, what they're doing, and I have to put this announcement out there: if you are the victim of poor housing conditions, if your ceiling falls on you, if a metal rod falls on you, if you slip and fall, anything happens because they're not taking, Metropolitan Housing is not taking care of their responsibility, do not talk to their attorneys. Do not settle with their insurance companies. This young man said that the insurance company wanted to meet with him at his daughter's mom's house, wanted to meet with him personally, as opposed to him having his own legal representation, wanted to meet with him and wanted to offer settlement. So no, what I'm saying is that if you live in Laura Homes, if you live in City West, and your housing conditions are becoming deplorable, I know some years ago, the plumbing was backed up in Stanley Row. I mean, the plumbing was backed up on the second floor in some of the little townhomes there, and there was an entire row that had and I don't mean to be graphic, but it is what it is. They had feces and urine just floating around on the floor. And so, in a lot of these subsidized housing, a lot of these facilities, you have single moms, young single moms with babies. So these conditions are deplorable. If you had a baby who had a staph infection, if you get hurt, do not settle, do not talk to the management and rely on the management to have their attorney and their insurance company contact you. I know some amazing attorneys, and one of those attorneys is a former judge Fanon Rucker, who works for the Cochran firm. I would say before you talk to their insurance company, before you talk to their attorneys, contact the Cochran firm. The Cochran firm is doing some amazing work. One case that you all may be really familiar with, the Judge Fanon Rucker, and I still call him judge, although he's running for Hamilton County prosecutor. One case that he's over currently is the case, and I don't know the young man's name, but the gentleman who was beat by the deputy at the Hamilton County Justice Center. Judge Fanon Rucker is handling that case. I've worked with him personally in the past. He's willing to work with individuals who are at fault and settle out of court. But if he has to take it to court, if it's a big case, he will go to court. So I would say if you're living in these housing projects and they're letting them be run down, deconditioned because they want that area to be gentrified, I want you to be protected. And just know that no, you don't have to settle. You don't have to worry about being evicted. There are housing laws in place. I want you to know that you can still contact the Housing Opportunities Made Equal and contact a personal attorney so that you can have legal representation. Never talk to the insurance company by yourself. Never talk to the attorney by yourself. Have someone speak out and up for you. And again, I know that I'm speaking a lot about the housing projects in that area, but there's also individuals who own parcels of land who are systematically being forced out of that community because they want the property. Now, FC Cincinnati is coming along really, really well, and I get it. They don't want that element, and that element is generally poor people, sadly people of color in that community who's not going to add value to that space. But at the same time, they have to realize that has been the home of so many people for decades. And so again, I'm just calling for justice for housing. We continue to have a 40+ thousand affordable housing shortage in the greater Cincinnati area, and in Hamilton County it's much broader. But I want you to know that you can be protected. Don't be bullied out of your space. Don't be bullied out of your home. Don't just get injured and settle for anything. Don't fear getting evicted because there are laws in place to make sure that you are protected. Now, I have to prepare to get out of here, but I have mixed emotions about the no license plate law. Now, recently, the state of Ohio passed the no license plate law, and sadly, this comes on the helms of after the death of Sam Dubose, who, as you all know, he was stopped by UC police officer Ray Tenzing because he didn't have a front license plate. And as a result of that stop, he ended up being murdered by Ray Tenzing, who was never convicted, who pretty much walked free. And sadly, so many of us who know Sam Dubose, and he's also from the West End, who knew Sam Dubose, we have to deal with that. But now they have a no license plate law. I think it's going into effect. I believe it's already gone into effect. If it wasn't July 1st, it's August 1st, so you don't have to worry about having a license plate. But as the state representative who spoke out about this and who fought for the no license plate in 2016 said, you can go to affluent communities and they have been riding around for eons without a front license plate. You don't see a Bentley with a front license plate, even a place for a front license plate. You don't see a Maserati. Some Maseratis don't even have places where you put a front license plate. But sadly, in low to moderate income communities of colors, we have been charged with not having a license plate. And so now I'm so excited I'm excited, but then I'm sad at the same time because we had to lose someone as collateral damage to even get this law changed. But you don't have to have a license plate in the state of Ohio. I want to give a shout out to the BMV for being gracious and giving people extra time to renew their tags and renew their license in light of the fact that we have COVID-19. You can go past any BMV and there's a long line because they are social distancing. But remember, you still have time to renew your license. You still have time to update your registration. You don't have to worry about having a license plate. Make sure you get tested for COVID-19. There's so much going on. Make sure you listen to my show this coming Thursday. I'll have Katie, Kkyitk, and Jose, Nothing Before Family Fuego, on talking about Katie's song. Now, Jose is Katie's manager, so we'll have them on this Thursday at 2 p.m. You don't want to miss the show. Again, if you want to be a guest on Kelli Keeps You in the Know, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or email me at KelliPrather1@gmail.com. I'm going to give I'm going to wrap up now, but on Thursday, I'm also going to talk about some of the exciting things that took place in Atlanta, Georgia, while Katie Kkyitk is in the studio. As always, I leave you with grace, faith, and peace. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and goodbye. You've been listening to Kelli Keeps You in the Know. Kelli can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Kelli is also a TV sensation. Make sure you watch the hit television shows Catching Up with Kelli and Kelli's commentary on Spectrum Cable TV. Check out the Catching Up with Kelli Facebook page. To catch or book Kelli Prather for your event, send an email to KelliPrather1@gmail.com. That's Kelli with an I, Kelli, Prather, P as in Paul, R-A-T as in Tom, H-E-R, 1@gmail.com, or call Kelli personally at 513-258-9586. Again, that's 513-258-9586. Listen again next week on 1320 AM WCVG, The Voice. God bless.